Hey everybody, last week we learned a bit about the DOM, how to select elements from the DOM, edit elements from the DOM, and we're going to build upon that knowledge this week by starting to work with events, and specifically this week will be click events. So let's take a look at what click events are. So I've got some code here, and when I open up the browser, we just have a button that says click me, and it's clickable. That doesn't do anything yet. So you might be wondering, how do we actually have the user interact with that in a meaningful way and us react to it and give them some sort of response? Well, that's where we can use our good friend JavaScript. So here's the button, click me, it's just HTML. Now there are many ways to add click events to the DOM, and I've seen a couple of you use it before on some of your assignments and such. However, I haven't seen the most current standard, and so the way I'm going to teach you is the way I want you to do it in your homework and your projects, and it's as follows. So the first thing we need to do is get a reference to this button, and so we learned how to do that last week. We can grab the button with document.querySelector button. And now that we have that button, what we're going to do is add something called an event listener. And so an event listener allows us to listen to all sorts of different events, but the specific event we're going to listen to is a click. So we do .add event listener, open up parentheses, and the first argument to this, so this is a method, which is a function. The first argument to this function is the type of event, and it's going to be a click event. Now the second argument is a function. And so we can pass this function two ways. I'm going to show you both ways. We can use a regular function, or what I'm about to do is an anonymous function. So an anonymous function, it sounds fancy. It's just a function without a name. And so here, I didn't give the function a name like we normally do. So we just have function, parentheses, open curly brace. And here I'm going to put alert, you clicked me. And save. And so now, might not look like I did anything happen or anything fancy happen, but now once I click this button, the code for the event listener is going to run. So basically the three parts to the event listener are the actual element you're going to add the event listener to, and that's going to be, you need to grab that element from the HTML and with document query selector and save it to a variable, call the add event listener method on that element, tell it what type of event for the first argument, comma, and then a function call. And so this function call specifically is called a callback. That gets the idea of a callback gets a little more advanced than I care to for this intro class. But it's good to know the name. And so if you're not comfortable with this idea of a callback function, like this anonymous function, what you can do is have it separate out here and call it something, maybe response to click. And then you can just pass the function name here. No problem. Make sure you don't add parentheses to the end, just pass the function definition. And this still works. And so we can start doing all sorts of things with this. We don't have to necessarily just do an alert. We could do some JavaScript and maybe append something to the DOM. Let's just show that real quick. We could have a const p-tag equals document.create element p-tag. Then we can do p-tag.textContent just says hello world. And then we can do document.append child p tag. And so now when we click the button, we should add a p tag to the document. And let's refresh. Whoops. Oh, text content should be equals, not a function call. My mistake. Let's grab the body. And let's do body.append child. I think that should work. There we go. So you see, we can just make an element and put it on the page in response to the user click. And we can do anything. We could add some math, take some user input. This is the beginning to actually doing stuff with our JavaScript. And so having the user click things and interacting with them, giving them some sort of output. This is the start to it, using adding event listeners to elements on the page. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.